Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter began a campaign to fight against the pandemic. Tzu Chi volunteers in Sri Lanka invited people who had sewing machines to start making masks. Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Simon Gan. Thank you for joining us. To help fight the pandemic, Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter began a campaign to gather love from organizations, Tzu Chi volunteers, and the general public. And for some, they even donated their manpower. In critical times like this, the warmth of the society is deeply felt.
Madan Tzu Chi volunteers accept a large donation from Bank Mystica in a ceremony in front of the Jingsi Hall to signal the beginning of a partnership in fighting against the epidemic.
Mencoba untuk bisa jalan dengan Yayasan Buddha Suci.
The Tzu Chi Foundation has always done a good job in the charity sector. We have been wanting to work together with them. And when the epidemic began, we thought it would be a good opportunity.
Kedepannya biar bisa jalan terus dengan Yayasan Buddha Suci.
COVID-19 is not stopping anytime soon in Indonesia, and the kindness in the community is gently rising, such as the Young Chief Officers Association of Indonesia. They are donating what is valued at 800 million Indian rupiah of medical equipment and preventative supplies.
We have first planned to provide medical equipment for hospitals to battle the epidemic. Next, we will donate funds to Tzu Chi so the volunteers can use it to purchase food for those who need it.
Indonesian Tzu Chi volunteers have also mobilized to gather love from all over. Despite being confined at home, Eva Wiyogu still manages to motivate 362 people to donate a bit of their love through the use of social media. She gathered about 1 million NT dollars.
I can feel everyone is worried about the pandemic, but no one knows what to do to help exactly. So talking to people and united their thoughts are very important. It's good to nurture compassion so we may get through this together.
Roberto is a recycling volunteer, and due to the spread of the epidemic, he has asked people to donate to help fund preventative equipment, with over 200 responding in kind.
More recently, we've been sharing with the public the pictures of us donating supplies to medical staff. When people see them, they are moved and are happy to donate funds to help our mission.
This teacher, Tam Mariani, is also canvassing for people to do good deeds with her.
Just me on my own. I have limited strength and I can't do much, but together with everyone else, we can get strength and power. The medical workers have a heavy burden right now, so whatever we can do to help them, we should.
Giving is not the privilege of the rich, but the ability of the kind, as anyone can help build a river out of droplets of water.
Philippines Tzu Chi chapter was able to purchase a second order of medical supplies from China, which arrived in Manila last week. This week, volunteers quickly dispatched them to different cities, such as Late's Ormoc City. While Ormoc has no confirmed cases yet, many hospitals in the area have been treating patients with symptoms similar to COVID-19, so they still practice precautions. Volunteers also gave some supplies to the city government. Let's take a look.
The whole world is asking for PPEs, so it's very hard to get. We are making our own PPEs with what available in mga materials, no? So makeshift PPEs just to protect our health workers.
Ormoc City in the Philippines hasn't had a confirmed case of COVID-19 yet, but frontline workers still need to protect themselves against the virus. Thus, Tzu Chi volunteers brought them much-needed supplies.
We have so many PUI suspects. Any patient, we see so many patients at the triage. They come with cough, fever, sore throat, the usual signs and symptoms of COVID-19. Your donations, it is really a big help.
Masks, gowns, and medical gloves are all supplies emergency workers need. After delivering to the hospitals, some of the supplies were donated to the city government for them to distribute.
We'd like to thank you so much for the donations that you've sent our medical staff, our frontliners, and rest assured that all of this will be put into proper use. Thank you so much, and more power to Tzu Chi. Thank you.
We really need the PPEs. And also our borders are needing PPEs. Our swab team, the one that's going to get the specific for swabbing, for PCR tests, they have to wear the PPEs also. And I'm very thankful that Tzu Chi gave us this very nice PPE.
Being the biggest supporter of medical workers, Tzu Chi volunteers continue to safeguard their well-being.
While the pandemic is still widespread in the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers continue to donate preventive items in their respective states. In Arizona, there are many Native Americans and they have never used any medical masks. So when the volunteers were donating to the medical items, they informed them how to use the mask in the right way.
Volunteers bring boxes out from Tzu Chi volunteer in Yuzhen's garage. These boxes include blankets, sleeping bags, backpacks, jackets, and masks. And these items will be given to homeless shelter in San Francisco.
The homeless people don't have good immune systems, so the city government of San Francisco asked these 8,000 homeless people to stay at different shelters. These homeless people need these sleeping bags, jackets, and masks. To stop the virus from spreading, the city government of San Francisco wants all the homeless people to go to shelters, but the shelters do not have sufficient supplies, so they have asked Tzu Chi for help.
We received this incredible donation from the community that we're going to very quickly be able to get out to all of the providers serving homelessness in the city of San Francisco. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Meanwhile, in Arizona, where many Native Americans live, Tzu Chi volunteers in Phoenix drove over 700 kilometers to the Apache Reserve in White Mountain to give them 1,000 masks.
Side is on the top. For all these packages, the string side is outside.
Okay.
Okay, so don't do it reverse.
Okay.
Okay, because it's very easy. This is a bending nose piece to fit this tight.
Okay.
Okay, and if you look at the folded, this is folding down, so it's very easy for you to pull down the mask. Okay.
The second delivery, which took the volunteers 2 more hours of a drive, was for the Little Colorado Medical Center in Winslow, where the patients are mostly Navajo people and the hospital needed 500 masks. Every state has confirmed cases, so their needs are also different. Tzu Chi volunteers from Orlando give masks to police and a nursing home to pass on their love.
To assist in epidemic prevention, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers send masks to the prison to help out the warden. They also send 200 care packages, which include some daily necessities as well as crackers and beverages, to a quarantine center to relieve the burden of the government.
A carton full of masks has been delivered to the prison system, as prisoners live in close quarters and the officers working there also need masks to protect themselves. After receiving a call of help from the warden, Tzu Chi came to deliver the supplies.
Thanks to the Klong Tzu Chi volunteers for the donation of 1,000 masks. We really appreciate this valuable support.
Tzu Chi volunteers have long cared for the prisoners, but since the epidemic started, the activities have stopped, but the love and care is still there.
Thank you for worrying about us. Let's stay safe together and stay at home.
Meanwhile, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malacca are busy organizing care packages to be sent to quarantine centers.
They asked for 500 in total, and by yesterday evening about 6 o'clock, we have given them 200 already.
Using a limited number of people, the volunteers took 3 days to pack up all the numbers of care packages, which include some daily necessities as well as pantry dry goods and beverages. They personally delivered it to 3 quarantine centers in an effort to help reduce the burden on the government.
Due to the movement restriction order, many refugee families in Malaysia have no work and no income. To help them during this difficult time, the UNHCR cooperated with Tzu Chi volunteers to distribute subsidies to these refugee families. Let's take a closer look.
Under the movement restriction order, streets are empty. Refugees cannot go out to work and their lives become very difficult. Tzu Chi volunteers go out to distribute emergency cash.
UNHCR also provides emergency funds to help these people, but Tzu Chi is needed to be their hands and feet for fund distribution because there are many places to go around the whole of Malaysia, including northern, southern, and central parts. So this is a big cultivation land.
There are 12 people in Muhammad's family. This subsidy is a timely assistance. The group of volunteers continue their journey to a little village, which has 52 refugee families in Malacca. Every household has ended suffering.
We don't have money to buy milk powder for kids and pay rent, as well as water and electricity bills.
Most of us are working in restaurants or construction sites, but now we can't go there to work.
Seeing the volunteers coming, the crowd swarms, yet not every household can get immediate assistance.
Originally, we planned to distribute supplies to 22 households, but many phone numbers are incorrect and some have yet to report back.
Currently, only more than a dozen households got the supplies. Many people are very disappointed. Hopefully, everyone can get the supplies. I hope the UNHCR can help us.
Trying their best to help improve refugees' lives, Tzu Chi volunteers in Ipoh also go out to care for refugees.
I don't have friends here. I don't know where I can seek assistance. Thank you, God, for letting me receive UNHCR's help.
Bearing the heavy burden of daily life, the timely assistance allowed the refugees to see a ray of hope.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Sri Lanka were concerned that the residents of the Ta'ai village did not have enough masks, so they invited people who had sewing machines at home to start making reusable masks. They then gave these masks to the Ta'ai villagers and also taught them how to wash them. Let's join them there.
It is safe to make masks at one's home. Tzu Chi volunteers invite people to make cloth masks at home.
I'm glad I can give a part of myself to help prevent the epidemic. I want to thank Tzu Chi for giving me this chance to help people.
The volunteers collect cloth masks from these households and begin disinfecting them. The volunteers also wear gloves when putting the mask into individual bags. The volunteers work in the 30 degrees Celsius weather to give away this mask to residents.
We give these masks to the residents of Ta'ai village, and so far we have given them to 50 families, and we have also taught them how to wash them and when to use them.
Every mask represents the power of stability that will comfort the residents through this difficult time.
During the pandemic, many residents in the United States stayed at home to sew fabric masks to help others. A batch of semi-finished fabric masks, which were shipped from Taiwan, are about to arrive in the United States. Tzu Chi volunteers called on sewing experts on the internet to exchange sewing skills, hoping to simplify and speed up the process of making fabric masks.
师姐们，大家从网络上各采取自己的方法做的，然后每个都做得好漂亮。那我想，我也来学一学。
Sewing masters are all gathered at Tzu Chi El Monte Service Center in California. Some semi-finished cloth masks are about to arrive in the United States. Everyone sees this time to exchange sewing skills.
然后下面也要缝起来。因为疫情的问题，我们都在家里。
Because of the epidemic, we all stay at home. We all make cloth masks when we have nothing to do. Next week, the cloth for making masks will arrive from Taiwan. So we need a lot of Tzu Chi brothers and sisters to help sew cloth masks.
Everyone usually works on their own. Before sewing a mask, volunteers need to cut the pattern again. A volunteer is providing a full stack of cut patterns to simplify the procedure.
I asked my friend if he had fabric. He promised to give me 2,000 pieces originally. Now he gave us 1,500 pieces.
All parties try their best to help the sewing volunteers.
一位中医师，非常感恩他。
I am very grateful for a Chinese medicine doctor who gave us a lot of non-woven fabric.
不织布。
We have cut it into 2 layers and the filtration effect is very good.
2层隔离的效果非常好。
With the help of others, the sewing team practiced hard to make cloth masks for residents, hoping to form good affinities with them.
The Party World KTV on Linsen North Road in Taipei, Taiwan, caught on fire at 10 a.m. on April 26. The fire spread from the 5th floor to the 9th floor. The Taipei Fire Department dispatched 27 fire trucks to the scene and helped evacuate 200 people from the building. While firefighters were putting out the fire, Tzu Chi volunteers also arrived with water and snacks to see what help they can provide.
The 16-year-old girl escaped from the fire unharmed and is in her mother's embrace.
Her daughter was able to escape and she was also in shock. She said she didn't dare to take the tower ladder, so she took the stairs down to the 1st floor. Her face is all red and she is hugging her mother and crying.
She lives in Zhongshan Borough, so we will visit her in 2 days.
After they heard of this fire accident, the volunteers immediately go to buy drinking water and bread. When they see firefighters taking a rest, they approach the firefighters offering some snacks.
I've contacted the borough head and told her that if anyone needs anything, we'll visit them with goods, money, or simply words of comfort.
A private organization like Tzu Chi fills in the gap by consoling these fire survivors.
Master Cheng Yan said that the best remedy to treat the epidemic is to adopt vegetarianism. Tzu Chi volunteers in Xinxing district in Kaohsiung started inviting residents in the community and government officials to adopt in vegetarianism, and it was widely received to the point that over 300 people joined in just one day.
The volunteers also keep a safe social distance even when they are making vegetarian meals. The veggie variation and nutrients are excellent.
Our ingredients may be simple, but we put the nutritional values such as protein and fibers into consideration. We hope we can eat vegetarian meals every day, so our land can become more peaceful.
The first place we are promoting at is our district office. The district head likes it very much. And over 100 office employees, including the head secretary, support it.
When vegetarian lunches arrived at the borough's head office, it receives much support.
Thank you for your meal. Since I've accepted it, I've also do my part in promotion. When I phone people to pick up the bus meals, I always tell them that we should do our best to slow down the global warming.
I invited 30 people from the borough to support this.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Xinxing Kaohsiung were able to solicit over 300 people in just one day to adopt vegetarian diet. They stopped their desires for meat in the hope of stopping the epidemic.
Gongliao district of New Taipei City is the most northern district of the city and is made up of mostly farmers and fishermen. The country life has more recently become lively with the opening of 2 independent bookstores in the area. One, where the owner has purchased books from different countries, personally aimed at giving migrant workers a feel of home, while another has turned an old rice store into a cultural space where people can come exchange ideas and chat on a daily basis. Follow a report as we learn more.
Holding on to his cane and squinting his eyes, the senior is at the bookstore, which has become something he does daily. With a blue frame door and an open space design, this place stands out amongst others already. But what's more special is the store's name, the Organic Bookstore.
It's made up of local people doing local things, which results in the store. This is how we categorize this store being organic.
Renovating an old rice shop with mostly all secondhand materials, this bookstore does not sell, only trade or exchange books. Even without a store manager, it still inspires tourists to come visit.
I was curious how a bookstore like this in Gongliao could survive.
When that Japanese girl came to be a bookstore manager, the old people living here came alive. Everyone came to talk to her, and when she began drawing, the old people would come sit and draw with her.
The local team also began the Northeast Corner Reading Alliance to invite more independent bookstores to join. Considered a store for immigrant workers, Socrates Cafe owner Lin Chun once spent half a year traveling 6 countries of Southeast Asia just to bring books back to Taiwan. He has been traveling the country with his bookmobile and only settled in Aldi in 2018. Though in the beginning he had language barriers and his intentions were misunderstood, he does not mind.
In doing this thing, when you meet someone who loves reading and they finally have a physical book they can read, you will feel their excitement, which makes you see value and meaning in what you're doing.
Muslim Al-Quran.
It's the book of the Quran. It's for prayers. Before we read it, we have to have clean hands. If our hands are dirty, we should not read it.
Maybe rural areas are lacking in resources, but many people are contributing in their own way to increase people's access to reading material, making bookstores no longer just a place to gain knowledge or buy books, but a salon where the art of conversation is carried out.
像这样的路就是值得一直做到老死为止，因为这是一种文化。
The Kaohsiung Health Department collaborated with Fuyin University and filmed correct prevention methods and the correct way to take off protective clothing for the caretakers of the quarantine. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.